Hi everyone. Hope all of you are aware of the fact that CAT 2021 paper pattern has now changed. It was released in the morning that the new pattern will see a reduction in the number of questions, although the time that has been sanctioned in 2020, that is 40 minutes per section, would remain the same. Now, the issue is that since the new pattern has not been disclosed, that is, how many questions will be there in each section has not been disclosed, there is some amount of anxiety which I can see in the comment section, which was coming since the time the notification was released. So I've done some analysis for the purpose of this video so as to give out some credible information as to what should be your next steps. But before I begin sharing that analysis, I would like to share what happened last year so that you can understand what was the situation of the students last year who were going to appear for CAT 2020 and how did they get to know of the pattern. Those of you who are appearing for CAT for the very first time would be surprised to know that last year students were not even aware of the pattern before entering the hall. Yes, they got to know this when they started reading the instructions during the final exam day in the examination hall. So you should consider yourself lucky that at least you are being told that there is going to be a reduction in the number of questions beforehand and you can prepare accordingly. Now to this, I would also like to share that if you check CAT's official website, there is a notification which was released on 16th of September, which reads that the tutorials to understand the format of the test will be available on the CAT website from October 2021. So it is likely that you'll get to know the pattern in October, but it's not necessary because last year when CAT 2020 students took this tutorial exam, they got to see only CAT 2019 paper or some other paper which was based on the previous pattern and not on the latest pattern that they were supposed to see. So in your case, there might be a possibility that from October 2021 onward, when the format of the test gets shared, you get to know the pattern well in advance as compared to students last year who only got to know it on the final day. Now let's move on to the analysis part. See, there were two patterns. One was pre-COVID, another was post-COVID. In the pre-COVID pattern, if we categorize two sorts of sections that are there, because in VARC and QA you used to have 34 questions and in DILR you had 32 questions, but the time was the same, 60 minutes per section. Now the same in case of 2020 was 26 questions in first category of sections and 24 questions in the second category, that is DILR. But the time limit used to be 40 minutes per section. Now why am I telling you that? Because if you calculate the number of minutes you had per question, this will be the situation in case of pre-COVID pattern and post-COVID pattern. So clearly you had fewer minutes per question to solve the paper in each section when it comes to the 2020 pattern as compared to the previous pattern, which is why this notification has been released that the number of questions will be reduced so that you have more time available per question. Now, unless in October CAT authorities release what the test pattern will be, a lot of coaching institutes will try to predict what the pattern is. If we assume that you will get the same amount of minutes per question that we used to get in the pre-COVID times, basis that what I have predicted for you, I am not sure at all. You can follow any coaching institute, you are free to do that. But according to me, then that number comes out to be 24 questions in VARC and QA and 22 questions in DILR, totaling up to 70 questions. But this is only if you consider the pre-COVID time that was allowed and assuming that they carry forward with the same thing. But it's not, again I'm repeating, it's not something that's official. Nobody yet knows what the pattern is going to be. Now there is another analysis that I carried out in order to understand what is going to be the impact of this reduction in the number of questions for you as an aspirant. Now in order to answer that question, let me first address a concern that a lot of people will have. They will jump to the conclusion that if number of questions have reduced but the time amount has remained the same, in that case the difficulty level will increase. See, that is a wrong conclusion to come at. It does not necessarily mean that if the questions have reduced, the level of difficulty will increase. But there is something which will definitely happen, and basis that you can strategize and you can change your strategy at this moment, which is what I'm going to share now. So if you look at what score led to a 99 percentile in four exams, CAT 2017, 18, 19 and 20, you will realize that the same numbers are as follows. And if we also look at the total marks that were possible to be scored in that particular exam, what you will see is that a 99 percentile was possible for someone in CAT 2017 at a 57% score. The same number in 2018 was 51%, in 2019 was 53%, but in 2020 the number was 46%. And the reason behind it is pretty evident. When you have fewer amount of minutes per question to be solved in an exam, you definitely will face time crunch and you will attempt fewer number of questions, leading to a lesser score and yet a great percentile. The same happened in 2020, which means that in CAT 2021, if the number of questions are going to reduce and you are going to get more number of minutes per question to solve the paper, the score that you will have to benchmark in order to see what amount will get you 99 percentile would increase. That threshold will increase. So it's not the difficulty level which increases, it is your requirement to score more in that exam which will be expected out of you. Which means that if you want to get a 99 plus percentile in CAT 2021, the change in strategy should be that you should score higher as compared to what you would have aimed at in order to get the same amount. So if I had to put it in numbers to explain you better, I predicted that there'll be 70 questions, and if you multiply it by 3, that's the total amount that you can score in this exam, which is 210. Now out of this 210, you will not be expected to score 46% in order to get a 99 percentile like CAT 2020. Instead, that expectation would increase. So somewhere around 55% is what you should benchmark basis the previous trend. So if you see CAT 2017, 18, 19, the requirement was in the bracket of 50% to 57%. So at least benchmark 55% or 60%, which amounts to 115. Compare this with 2020, wherein 105 could get you 99 percentile, and at that time the total used to be 228. So out of 228, if you scored 105, you would get 99 percentile. But the same in case of CAT 2021 will not follow, even though the total would reduce to, let's say, 210. I'm not sure because nobody yet knows the pattern. Even then, your requirement to score 99 percentile would ask you to aim at 115. So that's what I'm trying to explain, that when the number of questions get reduced, the expectation that you are going to score more increases because you will get more amount of time per question. So now what should be your next steps, or how can you tweak your strategy according to this new news that has come out? See, first of all, you don't have to panic at all. If you are taking coaching from an institute, then it is their responsibility to arrange mocks for you. So that is one thing that you shouldn't worry about, that how will I practice now. Secondly, anyway, this was the time when you were going to test and try to build your strategy. I had explained this in the mock video as well, that you would be attempting the most amount of mocks at this point of time. So October month is anyway going to be your testing and trial month. So don't worry, let the pattern come. If it doesn't come, then your coaching institute will anyway take care of it. Every person, whether he or she is self-preparing or taking coaching, would at least be taking mocks. So your mocks will be on the basis of the pattern which the coaching institutes will be predicting for you. So don't worry about that aspect at least. Now coming to the strategy bit. See, your strategy has to remain the same, which is to improve your attempt rate and your accuracy rate. But while you do that, what you have to remember is that you have to focus more on attempt rates, as I had explained in the previous videos as well. Now that you will have more time per question, it will all the more be expected out of you to attempt more number of questions and hence score better. So people who are currently thinking of accuracy rate and improving the same, first thing you need to do is to improve your attempt rate. And I have already created section wise videos for you. Those of you who are already aligned with the channel would know that there are 3 videos available which explain how can you improve your attempt rate and accuracy rate in each and every section. So go through them again and see how can you first of all improve your attempt rate. That should be your goal. If you are not attempting 80% questions, you cannot score a 99 percentile because your expectation of accuracy will skyrocket. Instead, you have to focus on improving your attempt rate so that you can compromise a bit on accuracy rate, which you will anyway require. So this would be my take on this change of pattern. If you have any other questions in your mind which I might not have covered, then feel free to comment the same. I would be happy to respond to them. Thanks a lot for watching this, guys.